Yeah, I'm here together with Lee Bryant at the Post Chef office. Hi, thank you for having this little interview. I want to talk to you because you recently announced a new packaged new consultancy approach, like a packaged service on enterprise social networking diagnostic. First, I want to clarify what's behind this, and then secondly, also question this approach, because somehow this differs a little bit to what all these social business evangelists have preached a little bit before. Now it's this approach for me is very corporate, very product-like. So let's discuss this, but please explain your approach first.
So where this comes from is we spent a lot of time thinking about who our customers really are and what their needs are. So it's not correct to say our customer is an organization. Our customers really are the people inside those organizations who are trying to work differently, trying to change things. You might call them change agents. You might call them, just committed people who want to improve the business. And then we thought about their needs, and we thought, okay, is their need that we go along, we sell them some big, heavy change management program like we're McKinsey or something, and then we just deliver that, and make our money? Or are there ways that we can deliver insights to them that help them own the change internally and run with it and do better things with it over the long term? So we figured that we actually did lots of analysis of different types of people, sort of personas and roles, various things that we think they need if they are to succeed in changing their companies for the better. And we have a lot more plans, actually, to launch little things that could just help them in context, in situ, whilst they're doing their work or whilst they're managing their projects. So the diagnostics was the first of those. And the idea was that actually we can deliver some really quick insights based on our experience and also based on some data analytics and some sort of internal consultation with stakeholders that, may not make us hundreds of thousands of euros, but actually can be really valuable in letting somebody sort of take their project to the next level. We had, back when we were Headshift, we did a few projects like this where we would go in, look at a stalled adoption program or look at a social platform that wasn't really growing in the right sort of way. And we offered, lots and lots of ideas and recommendations and tips and techniques based on our experience. And then we went back to some of those companies, some quite big, well-known companies, a few years later, and they were still running with those recommendations in some cases. So they were still getting value out of what was quite a small piece of work for us. So we figured, maybe that's a better value proposition for the people. They don't have to get sign-off for some massive project. They can do something at, 10, 15, sort of 25, £1,000, do something quickly that delivers real insights and can actually help them grow their networks, help them grow their adoption and move forward. So it's really, for us, I think part of an attempt to be more customer-centric and not to be so internally focused as a consultancy where you sort of, develop your ideas and then go and impose those ideas on companies and build these elaborate, long projects that need consultants to operate. A lot of what we're doing right now is about trying to empower internal change agents to own the change and to run things better themselves.
Just to clarify the packaged service approach at that point, how difficult is this to integrate into my project? Because doing diagnostics is very much about analyzing the data within my tools, within my used technology. The technology is different within different companies, probably. So how can you align with all those different approaches technology-wise?
No, we have an idea about how to do that. I mean, we believe that too many projects have been run according to some very low-level short-term KPIs. So social metrics, comments, likes, user numbers, all these sort of proxy measures. They don't really point to change. They don't really point to business outcomes. But they give you an indication of how things are going. So our model, which we sort of talk about as part of the quantified organization idea, is that we understand from people, okay, what are the capabilities that this project is trying to create for the organization? What are the new powers that this project could enable the organization to have? Quantify those, put some data measures behind those, and also put some human measures behind those. So, ask the engineers, are you better able to share best practice across different sites because you're using this platform or not, So that's a model that can sort of, create capabilities that make sense for the company and are easily explainable to the C-suite. They're not just a set of numbers in a spreadsheet of low-level activities. And then you can do the diagnostics based on that. So it can be based on the success measures or the targets of the organization themselves rather than some generic, sort of numbers that we're looking for. And hopefully that gives them a better handle on how to manage and measure their program going forward.
Now about the criticism on this approach.
We're too corporate.
The issues. Well, in former days, when we talk about social and the social idea, we always talked certainly about engaging those change agents.
Yeah.
And certainly you provide approaches, tools with these services to engage. But we also always talked about, yes, in the first place, we have to change the mindset behind it and then introduce tools and then measure the change and so on. Somehow a little bit change this. So
I think it's just
provide tools. So you're saying, well, it's not about technology, but then you provide tools in measuring KPIs on the change and the use of tools. And this certainly also puts, again, more emphasis on the tools side for me.
Yeah, so I think it is about technology, and it's about culture, and it's about mindset, and it's about structure. And I think the missing element in the first wave that we were part of was an analysis of the structure. So we were finding that even when we were very successful in building a new culture or a new behavior using social tools, it would hit the barrier of organizational structure, silos, divisions, hierarchies. These are real problems for actually sort of seeing the change that we want to see. So that's why we've sort of added this new area to our work, which is an analysis in, I think, quite a grown-up way, so quite a sort of corporate-friendly way, about how you can transition from very simple hierarchies and silos to something that's a lot more sophisticated, a lot more agile, responsive, and modern. So that's a key part of what we do. It doesn't mean that we're still forgetting about mindset or new behaviors or new ways of working or the really fundamental question of how all of this empowers people to be themselves and to deliver value in a way that creates purpose for them as an individual as well as value for the company. We still very much believe in all those things, but we see those as outcomes, and we have to do the hard, sometimes boring work of creating the conditions, for that to happen. And I think our work and our portfolio is really testament to the fact that I would say we've got further in that direction than probably anyone else.
So how are your overall feelings about the second wave of the digital transformation, as it's named now? Are we now changing the companies, or is this just another in-between step?
In between. Well, I'm going to say yes, but I'm conscious of the fact that it's taken us a good 10 years to get to this second stage. I do see change, and I see not only change, but new possibilities, new structures, new divisions, new ways of organizing work in some quite large, quite conservative companies. So that's something we didn't see in the first wave. In the first wave, we saw already interested sort of volunteers using social platforms to do things in a different way and creating examples of what could be done. But the difficult bit is the second wave. The difficult bit is getting everybody to see this as the way work happens and to make it a mainstream activity rather than marginal sort of activity. So I think that's what gives me hope. These things take time. Anyone can come up with fancy ideas and models and go and give keynotes and talk about this stuff. But to do it, in large organizations, takes a lot of patience and a lot of creativity, actually, because everything there is designed around the existing system. And so what you're bringing in is something that can be seen as a sort of an alien idea. And unless you can provide a transition strategy where you can get from where they are today to a better place, then a theoretical model isn't going to get you very far.
Great. Thank you for the interview.
Pleasure.